Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I want to talk to you guys about an extremely dangerous social movement called Health at Every Size and why this is actually a myth. So let me put on my +5 hat of weaponsmithing, do a little bit of crafting, and let's talk about this. All right, Health at Every Size is this social justice movement that's basically just a big movement towards fat acceptance, of basically saying that people can be healthy at any body weight and at any size. And you know what? That simply isn't true. And there's generally several groups of people that I get stuck dealing with online talking about health, fitness, all of this stuff. That's going to be the fat acceptance people who honestly believe that it's possible to be morbidly obese due to body fat and be healthy, as well as the anorexics, including a lot of the raw vegans. And people need to remember, veganism is oftentimes used to mask anorexia. I'm not saying that it is in all cases, but in many cases this has been scientifically documented by psychiatrists to be a frequently used method to mask anorexia. And then all these male bodybuilder types who honestly believe that being shredded is actually healthy and fit and that it won't actually kill you or damage your organs or harm your health in any way. For them to be so lean that you can see every vein and striation in their body. All of these areas are extremely unhealthy. And the scary part is every one of them use the other ones as example, meaning anytime you talk about people being too fat being a health issue, these people immediately scream about anorexics, they scream about wafer thin models, and they scream about how that's unhealthy, as if what they're doing can be made healthy because an exact opposite extreme on the other end is unhealthy, that makes what they do healthy. I mean, it's insane. It's an insane chain of logic. Same thing, you go over and you talk to any of these bodybuilder types or anorexics who are clearly too lean to the point to where it destroys health, and they immediately say, well, it's better than being morbidly obese. No, it's not. It fucking kills you too. Both of these things will fucking kill you young. And it's insane that people don't grasp this. It's like they can't grasp that the two extremes are both unhealthy and that actually there's a really big middle ground that actually is healthy. It's like these groups are so oblivious due to their own delusions, their own body image disorders, their own eating disorders and everything, that they can't actually visualize that there is a healthy middle ground, an enormous healthy middle ground between these two extremes. And it's always black and white thinking. And that's the scary thing that I see in our society today, and particularly in a lot of younger people, this idea that everything is black and white, everything is one extreme or another. They can't visualize middle grounds or shades of gray or anything. Everything is just one extreme or the other. They can't envision anything but polar opposites, and it is really weird, and it's something I see a lot of having to deal with people just with what I do. Now here's the reality. Let's discuss the reality here. The reality, morbid obesity is itself considered to be a disease. All right? It is itself a sign of poor health. And you know what? Humans intrinsically know this. We know that when we see someone who is very, very morbidly obese, we find them unattractive. The majority of people find them unappealing. Why? Because we know from an evolutionary perspective that's a sign of bad health. That level of gluttony, that these people are unhealthy. If you are morbidly obese, you are far, far more likely to get type 2 diabetes. You are far more likely to have heart attacks. And heart attacks and cardiovascular disease is the #1 killer inside the United States and in the Western world, meaning it kills more people than just about any other combination of things you can imagine. Like if you were to take everyone killed by guns, by knives, in car wrecks, all right, all of these things combined together, take all three of those things that people think of as real, actual things that kills people all the time, combine those three together and increase it times 10, and there's your heart attack death rate. There's your heart disease death rate. It's something like 10 times those three things all put together. It is the #1 killer in the United States. Morbid obesity is the #1 contributing factor to it. It is the primary cause, the biggest cause. So stroke and heart attack, cancer, being obese, morbidly obese, over doubles your chances of getting most types of cancers. All right, so people who say, well, you can be healthy and hold an extra 50 or 60 pounds of body fat, that is complete horseshit. And in fact, as far as even fat acceptance goes, I used to be neutral on fat acceptance, and you say I don't accept or reject it. I've seen more studies come out now showing that actually berating people for being obese is actually a powerful motivator in getting them to lose weight. When people who they care about the opinions of their loved ones, I don't mean random strangers on the internet. So you dumb fucks who go over to websites and tell chicks that they're fat, thinking that you're helping them, no, you're just a fucking asshole. You're just a piece of shit and an asshole troll. That's all you are. It's when people they actually respect or care about in any way, when those people, they're close friends. And that's a really common one. Like your best friend picks on you about being fat, that is actually very likely to make you actually to take a serious effort to lose weight. When parents, brothers, sisters, people you love give you a hard time about it, it actually has an effect on causing people to try to lose weight. Because these are people who are genuinely concerned about you. And that people will pick that up over time. All right, so fat acceptance, no, not at all. This is a lifestyle choice. So in people talking about this being something, it's not how you're born. That's literally like accepting someone being a heroin addict. All right, people who are addicted to food and have major eating issues and who are sedentary and who don't regularly exercise, that's a lifestyle choice. But the food addiction and things can be overcome by just avoiding junk food completely. Just eating whole foods for the most part and getting up and dieting and exercising. That will make virtually anyone who's morbidly obese be less obese. It may not get them to their ideal weight that they want to be at, but it will get them outside of the morbid obese range eventually, given enough time, as long as they're consistent with it. It is a lifestyle choice. And so people who are like, they just need to be accepted. No, they don't need to be accepted. That's like saying we need to accept a heroin addict instead of getting their ass in a drug rehab. You put them in a fucking rehab. You don't accept their addiction. I mean, the stupidity of this, the sheer stupidity of this and the harm that it causes when we have so many people in this country die as a result of heart disease. We have so many people die as a result of heart disease that anyone thinks that we should just, they should just be accepted. No, they need help. They need to, they need to get off their fat fucking ass and get to the gym. They need to start walking around the block. They need to put down the donut. They need to put down the McDonald's. That's what the fuck they need to do, so that they don't die of a heart attack 30 years young, so that their joints don't hurt, so that they don't get diabetes and have to be on insulin the rest of their life and end up losing fingers and toes and going blind when that goes wrong or they miscalculate something. That's what they need to do. Now, the other extreme, these dumb fucks who think that being really, really lean, ultra lean is healthy. No, it's not. Being ultra lean shuts down your body's sex hormones. All right, it causes depression. It causes anxiety. It causes bursts of rage. It causes emotional problems to be too lean. Every one of you guys and girls, you anorexics, as well as you manorexic guys who diet down to 7% body fat, you all know that you become irritable. You all know you lose your sex drive. You all know you lose your sexual performance when you get there. Why are you denying it? You all know that you're annoying to be around because you're upset all the time, you're irritable, you're hungry. No one likes being around you. Why the fuck do you do this to yourself? Furthermore, it causes organ damage to be too lean for too long. It can cause damage to your reproductive system that can cause you problems for the rest of your life. I've known firsthand cases of this. I've known a girl who used to be bulimic, who had to deal with 2 periods every month for years on end, and they were 5 times as painful as other girls. She would lay in bed crying for 4 or 5 hours every one of her menstrual cycles, and she got one every 2 weeks as a result of it. It messed up her reproductive system. I've known guys who dieted down too lean for some silly-ass bodybuilding show and had to go on TRT the rest of their life. We've had multiple coaches online talk about clients who that happened to. That's the results of getting too lean. It is just as unhealthy, and you guys who think that you're more healthy than these people who are fat fucks because you get shredded, guess what? You're not. You're fucking unhealthy too. You are destroying your body. Now, the only argument they'll make, yeah, but it takes a lot more discipline to do that. Does it really? Well, even if it did, let's assume it did. That it takes more discipline for you to get down to be ripped and stave off your hunger and irritability and everything for months on end to get ripped. You know what else takes a lot of discipline? Cutting your own foot off with a string. like a piece of kite string or some dental floss, to cut through your own ankle and cut your own foot off that way takes an enormous amount of discipline. You know what? It's still fucking stupid to do it. It will still damage you for the rest of your life to do it, and it's stupid. So how does it taking more discipline make it a positive thing? You know what? I would argue it takes a lot of discipline for someone to eat 50 pieces of fried chicken and drink a 2-liter of Dr. Pepper every single day, 7 days a week. Because that's how some of these people get morbidly obese. People who actually stop themselves from getting up off the couch and taking a walk, and actually literally make sure that they don't get up and do anything. Even if they get the urge to go take a walk, they don't do so. I mean, we could argue that takes a lot of discipline too. You know how much discipline it takes to force feed yourself fried chicken until you almost puke every day? It takes a lot. And that's how a lot of these people who are 100 or more pounds overweight get there. We could argue that takes a lot of discipline, but you know what? That's still stupid as well. But people do these things. But yeah, this whole concept that health at any size is insanity. This is the sort of crazy social justice insanity that dominates our world today. This is the way people have started to think, that they treat everything as if it's some sort of minority group that has to be defended, including terrible lifestyle choices. Next, we're probably going to have to include drug addicts and pedophiles in here too, I suppose. Is discriminated against minority groups who we all just need to accept. I mean, that's almost how bad it's getting when we're talking about accepting morbid obesity and teaching these people to love themselves at that size. That's insane. That is like telling the heroin addict that he should love himself right after he's injected his heroin, because it's just part of who he is. This is insanity. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.